Welcome everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the blue aggro deck of the Vibes TCG. Now, with the new Legend of Lil's expansion cards, this deck definitely has got some new tools. I'm still not really convinced how strong it is, but it's a deck that I've been trying to make work for a long time. So let's talk a little bit about kind of the changes that's happened to the deck. But before we do that, let's just talk about how the deck even works. So the core idea is you just have a bunch of really aggressive blue cards. So you try to win the vibe check early with stuff like, Frosty the Penguin and Amazing Penguin. And then on top of that, you start playing some relics like Inspiring Story to continue winning the vibe check. You then, because you're continuously winning the vibe check, you run out of cards much faster than your opponent. So then you're playing OrbofHopium and PenguinWithHoops to kind of fill both hands. But the idea is as long as you're winning the vibe check, right, you'll be able to use those extra cards where your opponent will just end up with a full hand. Then, as the game goes on, you kind of finish the game off with some sort of like maybe a bashful swordsman type combo. We also run a light mill package in here with like RodofCheesySlices and PenguinWhosOK, just so that we can then use SendItTooHard to reset the board if we have to. And again, right, the idea is you'll have way more rods than your opponent, and you'll have still a bunch of cards in your hand because of all the symmetrical card draw. So then even if you clear the board, you can just reset and just be off to the races again. So the kind of new cards that are in this deck are we're playing LilFrosty, which is this deck 100% needed a one drop. So it's really good to finally have a one drop. So LilFrosty is super good addition to the deck. We also added MountFuji. So I just put two copies in. I think MountFuji, so it works really well with the swordsman to finish the game. And this Fuji can work really well with, removing your opponent's relics. So that's the reason the Fuji's in here. And other than that, we've also added Marilyl, which is a 5-drop that has 7 vibe, which could be useful for winning the for winning the vibe check. So yeah, let's see. And then also I put Binkus in here to help with the purple matchup. And then other than that, yeah, that's pretty much the deck. One other thing to call out is we're running 4 bedtime story for removal. And then I am running 2 SpringaLeak. I'm not really sure. I mean, this card is just so good, but I don't know if this is really the right deck for it. So anyway, I've just played a few games with this with the new cards. It's been doing pretty well, but on the other hand, I still feel like the shell is missing something, and it's really not. I don't know. So I'm not sure where the power level ultimately is, but it's super fun. The games are fast, and you get to use some of the new cards. So anyway, let's jump into some games and see how it goes. All right, so jumping in the first game, so we have 1, 2, 3, 5 drop. Definitely don't want SpringaLeak. That's more of a late game card, and so I think we'll play this out. I mean, ideally, we can go Frosty into Hoops into Marilyl. I think we keep the Penguin who's okay, just because if they have a one drop as well, it'll be a good card to play. Again, I don't know the mill package in here, right? The reason we need it is because of Send It Too Hard. Okay, so Cheesy Slices. So I think Cheesy Slices is a bit because we can't really play that for a while. And yeah, so Inspiring Story is also really good because if we can go one, okay, so they also have a one drop. All right, so this is going to be yellow. So against yellow, Send It to Hard is really good because, right? But the symmetrical card draw is really bad. So I think against yellow, we want to transition more because they're actually going to be a faster deck than we are. So let's kind of. So I think Marilyl will not be. Oh no, because Maryl's. Hmm, it's almost like I'm wondering, but the Penguin Hoops will be so good if I have double OK out there. So I guess yeah, I guess Marilyl is the least useful. So if we go basically double Penguin who's okay with then Penguin with hoops, as long as we can get it send it too hard. And I am keeping the inspiring story just because inspiring story is such a good card to have on the other side of send it too hard. But I'm a little yeah against yellow. So I haven't played against yellow yet with this deck. I mean, I played against yellow with it when I did it in okay, so it's not yellow. So it is actually caffeine. Okay. That is not what I was expecting. Okay, so I so I guess these caffeine builds these days are running yellow. I've run into this a lot where they have or the yellow wad and drop. I think it's yellow. So okay, so the fact that it's not yellow, all right, does that change my play? So I think I still want to do Penguin with hoops. Yeah, so now we definitely wanna go Penguin with Hoops, and we wanna oh, no, wait, I'm so used to playing purple. Okay, so we do that. Okay, so yeah, so we'll play out Penguin with Hoops. I don't think we need well, Inspiring Story can be really good because yeah, because I kinda think we're gonna send it too hard. But yeah, I think okay, we'll keep the other Penguin who's okay because, um, yeah, we do need to go wide. Alright, so they have the swordsman. Alright, they're gonna probably flop their own swordsman. Okay, so we'll flop the flying penguin, and then we'll also draw a card with Penguin with Hoops. Um, so yeah, so we need to just keep putting a rod down every turn for sure. So let's see. Okay, another inspiring story. So that's not bad. Um, but yeah, so they're running Lil Milkmaid. So okay, I can talk about Lil Milkmaid for a second because I specifically didn't put that in the deck. And the reason I didn't put it in the deck is because of Mount Fuji. Because with Mount Fuji, you can just basically straight up remove it fully. And so because we're playing Fuji ourselves, there's like anti-synergy there. Okay, so I think we basically just keep going. I think we go full wide, and I do wonder about the um inspire because I do think I'm gonna have to clear the board. So I do think so I'd like to keep the inspiring story for after the board clear, but the penguin who's okay is gonna be very useful at getting to that. Okay, I guess I don't need the Lil Frosty. I guess that can be my rod. And so I think they're gonna have to keep flopping the penguin with hoops. But so okay, so here, so if I well no, because I can flop the little balloon, so I can keep winning the vibe check. Because I definitely want to keep winning the vibe check. The reason I want to keep winning the vibe check is because when I clear the board with Send It Too Hard, which I think against this I'm gonna have to do because I don't really have a way to deal with the swordsman. I guess I could get my own swordsman. Oh, and bedtime story might not be bad. Okay, right. So that's another reason we have the penguin who's okay in here. Okay, wait, what card is that? Oh, Pop and Pete. Okay. So we have the bedtime story. So we do want to go as wide as possible. But so we'll have the inspiring story and the what's it called? The penguin who's okay here. So overall, okay, so we can actually potentially even win the game this turn. So let's see, let's get rid of this. All right, so the question is just do we want do we want to play the penguin who's okay or the frosty? So I think right this turn, because we have the bedtime story. I think we just play the penguin who's okay. Well, because the frosty will be 8, and the penguin who's okay will only be 6, but they have their Lil with balloon. So, yeah, this is interesting. I guess the penguin who's okay is better playing a little longer game. We'll play the little frosty as a rod. So now we have the bedtime story. They have the caffeine. So, right, they will have to not flop their swordsman this turn unless they have the green mega penguin here. If they have the green mega penguin, okay, they had the green mega penguin, but I still okay. So so this is I guess a reason why. Um, so at least they're going to lose their swordsman here, right? Because they have to flop the penguin with hoops. Um, yeah. So okay. So if I had played the little frosty, I could have. Yeah. So I should have played the little frosty because if I played the little frosty, right, the little frosty would have been bigger than green mega penguin here. So yeah. But so we'll let the swordsman ice itself here, and because we were going to lose the vibe check anyway. But so that means yeah, next turn they're gonna have 8 vibe. But yeah, I don't have anything. Yeah, I need to get some. Okay, so cannonball is good because cannonball will be bigger. And I just need a like we're gonna get them to 15 cards in their ice, which means we can send it too hard. So we just need to get a send it too hard. There's 3 in the deck. We haven't seen any yet. And we draw a bunch of cards. Okay, so the popcorn is yeah, popcorn is not ideal for sure. Um okay, so yeah, so the popcorn is not ideal, but I guess we'll just bedtime story it. We're gonna lose a penguin who's okay. So we really need like I think I'm gonna keep both bedtime stories. So, yeah, we'll use the bedtime we'll use one bedtime story on the popcorn here because they will yeah, we'll lose the penguin who's okay here, but it doesn't matter. We got them to 15, which is the important thing. and we'll tie the vibe check here. So maybe we want to win the vibe check. Okay, so we'll get rid of the Lil with balloon. Okay, so the question is, do we want to tie or win the vibe check? And I think we want to. So first, we'll get rid of the popcorn. Just because we don't want to lose another penguin to the popcorn next turn. And then the question is, do we want to just draw a card with Penguin with hoops? Because, right, tying the vibe check doesn't help us. So they're, well, okay, so next turn they can get to 14, but they'll be at 9, 10. So yeah, I think we'd rather just have all the extra cards we need because we just need a SendItTooHard. Okay, so RodofCheesySlices is not what we needed. So yeah, where's the SendItTooHards? We have 3 in the deck, and we still didn't run into any of them. We still have a bunch of card draws at it. So, okay, so Binkus is good, right? Because with Binkus, we can potentially get a second penguin bigger than the green mega penguin. So let's see if they get another caffeine, that's going to be annoying. Another popcorn is not a problem, right? Because the cannonball will be at 10, and their green mega penguin will be at 9. So that's not going to be a problem. Our Binkus is going to be giant. And so, yeah, so as long as they don't have another caffeine, I can have 2 things bigger than the green mega penguin. Or if they have an inspiring story, that would be a problem. So, yeah, so okay, so I think I feel good. And if I had to SendItTooHard, I could just they have a bunkus. Okay, so the bunkus is annoying because what the bunkus means is that okay, but okay, so is the cannonball good enough? So, if I do the cannonball, let's see. So let's play so we'll play the RodofCheesySlices. I'm just not sure I want to activate it. So, right, depending on where you put it. So with the cannonball, I have 2 things that are 10 vibe, but I don't want to make but okay, so if I do 4 here, then that means they're going to have how many cards in their ice? 3, 4, 5. Okay, then I can play the Binkus and just remove the bunkus fully. Okay, I think that's fine. So I think we do that. And then we play the Binkus. And we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wait. I have to 13. So I can basically just fully remove everything from their ice. And then that will just cause the bunkus to go away as well. Not that that was really necessary, but right now I have 2 cannonballs, which will each be at 10 vibe. So, yeah, so that should be good enough, I think, right? Because we have 2 cannonballs at 10 vibe, and they have, yeah, so the bunkus was definitely annoying, because, right, the bunkus works against how this deck works. But either way, I think we're going to be in a good state because, right, we have maybe they have like I guess we'll flop the popcorn just in case they have a what's it called? The one hit the high note to return our relic to our hand. But we're at 15, so I think we're good. And yeah, okay, so we made it. So let's reflect on the game a bit. So the bunkus was definitely a problem for us because that would have made SendItTooHard not being out. But right, they didn't get any inspiring stories, and our cannonballs just happened to keep up with them. So the overall game plan didn't really play out as expected, and we were able to handle the popcorns. So if they didn't have bunkus that turn, we would have had a giant binkus, which they would have flopped. So yeah, we would have lost to another caffeine. We would have lost to another to an inspiring story. So there are a lot of cards we would have lost to. But at the same time, if we had to SendItTooHard at any point in this game, so we're almost halfway through our deck and we didn't see any of our SendItTooHards. So if we had to SendItTooHard, we would have just gotten rid of the Mega Penguin much earlier and then kind of reset the board there. But I think that's a good lesson about this, which is when you have SendItTooHard, we cannot, like, because bunkus is a thing, you should just take the opportunity, like, when you have it to play it. But anyway, okay, cool. Good first game. So let's regroup and let's jump to the next one. All right. So looking at the next hand, for the next game at the mulligan. Okay, so we've got a good start, like 1 into 2 into 4. We do have the SendItTooHard, which I don't think we want. But we'll keep the orb because we do have the fast start. So, okay, we also got the Penguin Who's Okay, but okay, so we don't need SpringaLeak. I think that's okay. So I'm starting to think that SpringaLeak maybe should be removed from the deck because I keep putting it away. But maybe not. Maybe I'm just getting it early. So okay, so we have a good start with the LilFrosty. Unfortunately, this means we won't be able to play the Penguin Who's Okay, be- because yeah, we want to play Frosty next, and we want to keep winning the vibe check, and it's too risky to play a 2 vibe. So yeah, so we'll play that. So what do we want to rod here? The Bashful Swordsman is more of a finisher, I think. So let's rod that. I think the Penguin Who's Okay will get rotted soon if we don't get but it does work pretty well with Orb. And okay, so we're gonna actually lose the vibe check here. So that is unfortunate. So maybe we will end up not needing the orb. And so we will actually transition more into a defensive posture where we need to send it too hard. Because, right, against Green Mega Penguin. Okay, so Mount Fuji is interesting. So with Mount Fuji, we can deactivate the Green Mega Penguin. So that's something potentially. All right, so we won't need the Amazing Penguin, I think, because we have the Cannonball at 6 vibe. And we will yeah, okay, so definitely a caffeine deck. I mean, Introvert made that pretty clear. The only problem is we might have to use the Fuji on the popcorn penguin. So ideally we can save it for the Mega Penguin. But let's see. Um, yeah, so Orb is maybe not so great in this matchup, just because it will, right, they have a lot of cards. Okay, so we have at least a Fuji for the Green Mega Penguin. And all right, so we're gonna play the Penguin Who's Okay. For sure, and we're gonna build towards the rod of cheesy slices. So I think the orb. Yeah, I guess we'll play the. Yeah, do we play the orb as the rod? Yeah, I guess we play the orb as the rod. I don't really like that because I am. But again, like Green Mega Penguin can dump their hands so fast as well. So this is definitely more of a slow game. So we'll play the Fuji because right, we can play the Fuji next turn on the hmm, yeah, so we'll get them 5, and then we'll get Rod Cheesy Slices. We'll probably get another 4. So I think, yeah, we're gonna get towards Send It Too Hard. All right, so now the question is, yeah, so I think right because we can use Mount Fuji on that final turn when they're not expecting it. So I think as long as we keep everything empty. So we'll play Rod of Cheesy Slices. We'll play Little Frosty, and we don't play Fuji yet because we want to kind of trick them with Fuji on the final turn. But right, if they play a Bashful Swordsman, then we might be in trouble. But yeah, so next turn we can because we actually want as many cards as possible because we are still looking for the Send It Too Hard. Because I think at this point, Send It Too Hard, we might. Are we going to get to 15 though? It's not sure if we're going to get to 15. That is a open question because we have. I think we only have. Or do we have 2 more turns? Because they can. Well, yeah, they can play everything this turn, but we can also get to 14. So this might be a like we can win with Mount Fuji type of game. So no, okay. So we have one more. We have one more turn. All right. So what are we doing here? So we'll play. We'll definitely play the inspiring story. I don't think we need SpringaLeak. Well, no, because they might have a what a twist. So I think we should actually keep SpringaLeak. So then, do we need do we need a or do we keep the Frosty in our hand for next turn? No, I think we want to. Yeah, so they're at 12. So okay, so they're gonna definitely be at 50. So we'll definitely be able to clear the board next turn with Send It Too Hard if we get it. We have Fuji and we have Spring a Leak for What a Twist. So we want to then have yeah, I think we'll want the Little Frosty. I think we actually want to play the Little Frosty next turn because then we'll have 2 things that are 6 vibe in case they play something. Oh no, that's not true. We don't need the Little Frosty. So maybe we should play it as a rod. But we will get to 14 next turn easily anyway because we'll play the Fuji, the Little Frosty, and whatever else happens like the Fuji, Little Frosty, and the rod that will get us to 15. And then we have the Spring Leak for 1 What a Twist. But we won't be able to handle 2 What a Twist, but okay. I mean, not being able to beat 2 What a Twists is kind of, at that point. Okay, so we have another RodofCheesySlices. So this one also, I'm a little worried about BizBunk again. So let's see what they've got here. So they don't have, or they could have like a Tina Who Tears, but that won't matter. Okay, so I think, yeah. So Fuji should be good here because, yeah. So okay, so we'll play the RodofCheesySlices anyway. So we'll play Fuji first, and then we'll choose the green Mega Penguin. And let's see what they would pick. And then I think we play the Inspiring Story because the Inspiring Story, well, yeah, I mean, it's not like we need a. So we have the SpringaLeak for 1 What a Twist. So, right, if they have 2 What a Twist, we lose to that. But I guess let's look at their ice. How many? There's 2 What a Twist in their ice. So the question is, do they have the other 2 What a Twists in their rods? And maybe they do. Wow, how did this green Mega Penguin get to 17 already? That's crazy. So let's see. Okay, so anyway, we can handle 1 What a Twist, but we won't be able to handle 2 What a Twist. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we'll play 2 blue pudge there. And yeah, so hopefully they don't have the second What a Twist. But if they have the second What a Twist, then we will lose to that. But at that point, that's how it is. Okay. So all right, so we beat Caffeine again, which again, okay, so the question is this a good matchup for Caffeine? Because we've gone 2 for 0 against them. And we yeah, I guess this just goes back to Caffeine, where I still just feel Caffeine is a very linear a linear deck, and yeah, so I think it can be easy to play around. But okay, so we did also get exactly the perfect SpringaLeak and Fuji. So let's look at the deck list, because right, if we didn't get everything perfect there, we wouldn't have had it. So do we want to play our own What a Twist? I don't think so. I think this deck list is maybe. So let's look at this deck. I don't really like that we just keep playing Caffeine. I'm hoping to try it in a different matchup. But let's take a look at the deck list now that we've played 2 more games with it and see what we're thinking about. So Marilyl has done nothing. SendItTooHard. Oh, SendItTooHard would have been good in that matchup again, right? If we had to SendItTooHard, we could have cleared the Mega Penguin, and then they would have just been in huge trouble. So SendItTooHard is also really good in the Caffeine matchup. So we never got to use it there. So we have the 2 Fujis. I think that was fine. I think the Fuji also helped us in Caffeine. So I think against Caffeine, we have some nice tools. Binkus, I did like Binkus as well, because like, let's say that wasn't a Caffeine matchup. Like, I think Binkus easily can become like 20 vibe at the end of the game because you have a bunch of rods, so you only have to shuffle a few cards. You leave a bunch of penguins. So I like Binkus here as a finisher for sure. The SpringaLeak, I guess 2 SpringaLeak is fine. It was useful in that matchup. I like the Marilyl. I guess I'm still not convinced about the Marilyl, but it just seems so good because like to get to 9 vibe with 1 inspiring story, it just like outclasses so much. The cheesy slices, again, right, we really need that to make the SendItTooHard work because that's usually what pushes us over the edge. Only 3 PenguinWithHoops. I think that's good. So yeah, I think I am really happy with this list, I guess. The Bashful Swordsman, right? So something about the Bashful Swordsman, well, it'd be hard to ice the green Mega Penguin with the Bashful Swordsman because it would be flopped. So, but I still think, yeah, I guess I'm still happy with the list. All right, let's play one more game and see what happens, but hopefully it won't be Caffeine again. All right, so taking a look at our hand, so we've got a 2-drop and a 4-drop. I don't think I want. Do I want the inspiring story? I don't think so. Well, I do. Because I do want 1 probably for sure. So, but it is kind of a weak rest of a hand. So I'm not sure if I should. It's kind of greedy to keep the inspiring story. But on the other hand, if I don't keep it, yeah, then I only have 2 left in my deck, and I think it's a pretty key card for this deck. So okay, so well. All right, well, I got a lot of inspiring stories. Don't think we need the bedtime story. But yeah, this is a If they have an aggressive start, this is not the hand we really want. But I guess to some degree, this is like the hand of just icing your opponent's deck, because we do have basically the Penguin Who's Okay, the Cannonball, and the Cheesy Slices. So this could be a Send It Too Hard game. Two inspiring stories go pretty well with Send It Too Hard. So let's see. Okay, we have Penguin with Hoops. All right, so I guess we'll go down to one inspiring story. So right, Penguin with Hoops. Yeah, so at least now we can play out a curve if they assuming they have a 2-drop. Because yeah, then we'll play Penguin with Hoops. And okay, so it's yellow. All right, so as yellow, the thing about yellow is we need to Send It Too Hard for sure. So I guess we'll play the Penguin with Hoops will be nice to get the Send It Too Hard. And so all right, so Binkus, I guess so we need to pay attention if there's a Bunkus in there. Okay, buddy up. All right, so then I think we just um hmm. Okay, well we definitely need to play a Rod. I guess Binkus is kind of well, if we're planning on sending it too hard, but all the other cards are more important for sure. And do I really want yeah, I think I want just Penguin with Hoops just to get the because Penguin with Hoops works well with Penguin Who's Okay. I'm actually okay tying the vibe check just to maximize the number of draws we get at Send It Too Hard. And well, no, actually I want to win the vibe check this turn because I want to get Cheesy Slices down. So I guess maybe I don't want to actually play Penguin like to activate. So I should have played Cannonball this turn. And um yeah, so I think we just win the vibe check. Yeah, so that was a mistake though. Okay, so now we can play Penguin with Hoops. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, the issue with yellow is they're gonna draw a ridiculous amount of cards. Okay, we got the other inspiring story. So what did they get? Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Okay, so that's one problem is I should have been paying attention. Okay, Bounce House Rod. That is not what I was expecting. We really need to Send It Too Hard because I'm pretty confident we'll be able to get them to 15 cards in their ice. Although maybe not. Yellow is very aggressive. Um, but yeah, the Send It Too Hard is what we need. So okay, so we do the cheesy slices and we do the well, do I want to start losing the vibe check? Well, it's gonna be hard to lose the vibe check at this point. So I guess we'll just we'll do this and then we can do the Frosty as well. Well, yeah, I guess we'll do the Frosty because we are gonna just force them, hopefully, to have to. We'll force them to have to use their like finisher cards um before we before they're at 14 cards because we're already at. So this is kind of how this deck is supposed to work, I guess, to some degree. All right, so it sounds like our Penguin Who's Okay is not long for this world because of the Daydreaming Penguin. So I think we just don't activate the Penguin with Hoops because we think that they're going to activate the Daydreaming, and then we do that in response. Okay, so they want to get rid of the Penguin with Hoops. So then we'll get one more card draw off the Penguin with Hoops. And so then they do the Daydreaming. Okay. I mean, it's fine because basically, yeah, so there are 9 cards in their ice. So to get them to okay, so we got to Send It Too Hard. Okay, so there are 10 cards in their ice. And so that means we basically have 2 more or they're at 11 cards, right? There are 11 cards in their ice. Do they have a well, I guess because if I were to use my Binkus to get rid of a Bunkus, it would be yeah, it would then get less cards in their ice. Okay, second round cheesy slices. Okay, so we are definitely okay, so we can Send It Too Hard already. But we don't need to rush to Send It Too Hard. Let's see what they have here. Do they have a Bunkus in here? No, not yet. Um so yeah, so next turn we will Send It Too Hard, I think. Or do we want to do it this turn? No, because if we do it this turn, because the nice thing is we'll have 2 inspiring stories on the board then. So I think we wait one more turn. And yeah. It would be nice to have one more penguin. Because they're okay, so they're at 11 here. So I think we wait one more turn. I think at this point I'm not sure if I need to play more rods. It's almost like I want to because they're gonna draw they just keep drawing so many cards. All right, this time we're gonna pay attention with what they get with prepare for Wild Night. and check the yellow pages. Okay, so they're gonna have a full hand. So they are gonna get okay. So they get okay. Check the yellow pages, and oh, that was the So it's Pop and Pete. So they have two check the yellow pages. Okay, so they have um yeah. So how much should I send it to hard here? Because otherwise, yeah. Okay. So option one is we send it to hard here. I almost feel like we're going with the icing their deck plan and hope they don't have a bunkus. Okay, so I could send it to hard here because then they're basically just gonna have a popping Pete and a whatever that other penguin was. Yeah, because if I wait till next turn, well, they got to yeah they got to prepare for Wild Nights. So I think we wait one more turn because I think we want to be greedy and wait one more turn and catch up a few more penguins because they're gonna have infinite action cards, right? Because they have all of the prepare for Wild Nights, but they're also gonna run out of cards in their deck unless they have a wow another cheesy slices. Yeah, so the question is there a bunkus here? So there's still no bunkus. So yeah, who knows if they play bunkus? So we're going to go to 15 or to 14, but right, they're gonna play Popping Pete here for sure. But yeah, also if they draw too many cards, they're going to so did they get the bunkus here now though? They still no bunkus. Yeah, so they're gonna play Pop and Pete here, I'm pretty sure. And that'll get us off of 14. But right then we play Send It Too Hard. And this should be yeah, I think well, it's almost like do I want to get one more card from them? Because I don't technically win the game. I don't technically lose the game right now like this. So maybe I should wait to make them play like a buddy up or something. Um yeah, I don't really see why that would be a problem because I'm winning the vibe check. So I think we wait for them to like they have to play a buddy up or some sort of something. Maybe I can make them dig with the prepare for a wild night. Okay, so they'll do the flippers. Okay, perfect. So they do the flippers and then we send it. So this way we basically got them to use one of their flippers. And now they'll use both of the prepare for wild nights. But the thing is, right, if they do that, I don't know how many cards are going to be left in their deck. So because also like every turn we're going to take out 6 cards with the okay, so they're going to get 2 buddy ups. Okay, so 2 buddy ups are not going to help them. Right? Cuz now at this point, so the question is still do they run a bunkus? Cuz if they run a bunkus, that definitely could become a problem for us. But they don't have that many cards in their deck. So yeah, so the question is there a bunkus? Um let's see if there's a bunkus here now. No bunkus. It's like almost like I want to lose the vibe check. Okay. All right. So yeah, so I think this is what one thing I do okay, so yeah, one thing I really like about this blue aggro deck is it has a great matchup into yellow aggro because send it too hard. Right? Yellow aggro is just really not good against board clears. And right, we were able to clear the board, and after the board clear, right, they're just in such a bad state here where right when we look at what's going on, let's even say that they had a bunkus. If they had a bunkus, right, we're not going to deck them. But look at their hand. Their hand is buddy up, some other card. So if they had buddy up, some other card, they play the bunkus. At that point, all I need is a bedtime story, and then I can just remove the bunkus. Or even if they have the bunkus, right, that puts 12 cards back in their deck. That's only 2 turns of RodofCheesySlices. So the triple RodofCheesySlices is just brutal. All right, so there you have it. We played 3 games. We won all 3 of them. We played 2 against Caffeine. Both were really tight. And then we played 1 against Yellow Aggro, which again was only really tight because we needed to send it too hard. But once we had to send it too hard, it was quite under control. So again, I don't want to promise too much about this deck. I do worry that it just doesn't do anything broken. And I think like for decks to be really good, they need to have just like mechanics in them that are just way overpowered. But That being said, it seems to fit pretty well in the current metagame because I do see a lot of caffeines and yellow aggros. I would definitely take this deck over yellow aggro in the head-to-head matchup. And against caffeine, yeah, it's not bad against caffeine. I also probably would take this over caffeine, although maybe I would take caffeine. If caffeine, well, caffeine with bunkus, I would definitely take over this, but not every caffeine runs bunkus. So yeah, so okay, so then let's look at the deck list one last time. So Marilyl, we never played Marilyl today. I don't know, maybe this card is not good. I do just like that it ices the final two cards because sometimes I feel like with SendItTooHard you're really pushing. So okay, so Marilyl is a question mark. I think Binkus, like against that yellow deck, like right, they if we would have had Binkus, we could have just filled their deck with basically useless cards. We could have just put like all the actions in their deck, and then they would have had a useless deck. So I think Binkus is good. I think 2 copies of Binkus is good for this deck. So then Swordsman we never played. I do still feel like I feel like the Swordsman Fuji endgame combo in certain matchups is good, but we didn't use that today. So I think there's a world when Fuji did win us a game. And I think with all of the location decks out there right now, I think you need to have at least something to be able to handle if like someone plays a great wall or something like that. So Penguin with Hoops, I think at 3 copies is good. So SpringaLeak, question mark there. Should it be 0 copies? Should it be 3 copies? Um, yeah, bedtime story I think is very good, very important, but I think only having 4 removals is perfect. So anyway, there you have it. Thanks everyone for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.